feel we're so disconnected from our mind and body that we constantly believe that someone outside of ourself has the answer for how we feel. And while that may be true when you're seeing a doctor or a dentist or something of that professional nature, we don't really know how our body's been feeling for weeks or months until it crashes. And then we realize that we haven't paid enough attention to X or Y or Z, or a relationship in the same way has to end in order for us to realize that it had lost investment and energy or whatever it may be. And we're so far away from the self, or at least this version of the self, that yeah, we're not really aware. I love what you just said about the idea of how conscious are we of the fact that we're breathing, we're here, we're present, we're together, versus how much are we living up here. It's almost like I've been thinking a lot about how, in one sense, what's out here is real, and in one sense, what here isn't. And at the same time, actually, what's going on here is the real, because it defines how I interact with everything else. And it can help me be a better filter, a better chooser, selector of the people I'm around and the places I visit. I've been reflecting a lot recently about how most of what's happening is in the invisible world, and
that's very interesting.
I was thinking that in one sense you have reality externally, the visible world, but how I make sense of that visible world is all in the invisible space. And ultimately, how I make sense of it is the reality that I experience, regardless of what's happening around me, which is why we realize that people we all are telling ourselves stories and narratives all day long, but how we're processing what we're experiencing is our reality, as opposed to the event or what someone said or social media, as you gave an example. Like, I can either sit here and say, like, I know that when I wake up in the morning and I start scrolling on social media, my mind is now moving 10 times, 100 times faster than if I don't do that. And I know that brushing my teeth and showering is a much more peaceful process if I haven't looked at my phone than if I do.
Right.
And so that choice is being made in the invisible world. And the visible world is simply something I'm interacting with and taking from or being affected by.
And so things like government and social behavior, they're rules and codes that we abide by, but they're not visible, they're invisible,
yes.
right?
And so we're trying to raise our awareness of the invisible world.